we get some ice down at the bottom near the freezer part, and once actually there's water that drips down into the freezer part of a refrigerator, and the water hardens, and so we get like there's like a puddle almost of water, and it freezes, and there's a little, I guess a little container down there at the bottom of the freezer. I'll show it to you a little bit here, a little bit later on, that holds a lot of the water, holds a lot of the frozen water, and the frozen water down like a pan, I guess is what it is. And it holds quite a bit, but after a while then the water just doesn't really have anywhere else to go, and it starts to drip out to the front of the refrigerator, and it makes the floor very wet, and my mom is staying with us, and she can slip on it and break a hip, and that would be very, very bad. So what she does is, what we do is we put a towel down, and the towel absorbs the water from the refrigerator, and but then the thing about that is my wheelchair gets all wrapped up in that towel pretty bad, so it makes a big old mess. Towels and wheelchairs just don't go together too well, especially under tires. They just don't go together very well. So I like to, I grab that towel under there, and then I move it to the side, to the side of the refrigerator, and then I use a big long knife. It's good not to use something too sharp, because the sharpness will cause a leak, or cause a cracking of the plastic that is in that plastic, in that refrigerator basin, the freezer part, the pan of the freezer, and that will cause a leak, and the water will actually go out to the bottom of underneath the refrigerator, and cause a big old mess, and then that'll just be a big old mess. So what I do is I break up some of the ice a little bit. It's best actually if I use a big long knife, and then I can get underneath that lip of ice. I can get underneath that lip of ice, that pan of ice, and I can pull that ice sheet out from the freezer part, and then after I get that sheet of ice, then I can put it onto the ground. And you see there, I'm grabbing the sheet of ice, and then what I do is I bring that up and put that on my lap, and then I take that sheet of ice, and then I put it in the sink, and then I turn on the hot water, and just melt that ice, get rid of it, as much as I can. And so that's pretty much how I do that. I probably do that maybe once a month, or once every month and a half or 2 months. I guess it all depends also on how long we keep the freezer open. If we keep the freezer open by accident, don't close that freezer door very well, then we're kind of asking for trouble, and that pan